The moment she turned off the highway, I knew something was wrong. At first, I assumed she was avoiding traffic. Then the familiar streets disappeared, replaced by quiet neighborhoods I had never seen before. My phone buzzed with a message from my girlfriend asking if I had made it home safely, and a cold feeling settled in my chest. When I looked up, the car slowly rolled into the driveway of a modern house. She switched off the engine, smiled as if nothing unusual had happened, and calmly told me to relax because no one had to know. In that single moment, I realized that sometimes the greatest test of love isn't when life is easy, it's when temptation quietly parks right in front of you. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, honesty, and second chances still matter in today's world, please take a second to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Your support helps us continue sharing emotional stories that remind people goodness still exists. My name is Daniel, and until that evening, I thought I understood exactly who I was. I had been dating Hannah for nearly 3 years. She wasn't flashy or dramatic. She was the kind of woman who remembered birthdays without reminders, volunteered at the local animal shelter every Saturday, and somehow managed to make ordinary days feel meaningful. We had built a relationship on trust rather than excitement, and I had always believed that was stronger than anything else. That weekend had been exhausting. Hannah had flown to another state to help care for her grandmother after surgery. Before leaving, she asked her longtime friend Chloe to drive me home after a company fundraising banquet because she knew I wouldn't have my own car. Chloe had always been friendly. She was confident, outgoing, and effortlessly charming. Unlike Hannah's quiet personality, Chloe loved attention. She joked loudly, dressed boldly, and always seemed to know exactly how to make people laugh. The banquet lasted longer than expected. By the time everyone left, the parking lot was nearly empty. Chloe waved her keys with a smile and offered to take me home. We talked casually during the drive about work, travel, and how much Hannah missed her family. Everything felt completely normal until she ignored the exit toward my apartment. I politely mentioned that she had missed the turn. She smiled without looking away from the road and said she knew exactly where she was going. At first I laughed, thinking she was teasing me. Then she became strangely quiet. 10 minutes later we pulled into her driveway instead of mine. The silence inside the parked car felt heavier than anything either of us had said during the drive. She looked toward me with a calm expression and quietly explained that she had liked me for a long time. She admitted she believed Hannah didn't truly appreciate me and insisted that one evening together would never hurt anyone because no one would ever find out. For a few seconds, I couldn't even process what I was hearing. This wasn't some movie scene or dramatic television moment. It was real. The person speaking wasn't a stranger. She was someone my girlfriend trusted like family. I stepped out of the car immediately. Chloe followed me onto the driveway, apologizing, saying she hadn't meant to scare me. She insisted she only wanted me to hear her feelings. She said people made mistakes all the time and that life was too short to always do the right thing. Her words stayed with me during the walk to a nearby bus stop after I refused another ride. Not because they tempted me, but because they saddened me. Somewhere along the way, she had convinced herself that betrayal could be harmless if it stayed hidden. When I finally reached my apartment close to midnight, Hannah called. Hearing her tired but cheerful voice made my heart ache. She asked how the evening had gone. I almost stayed silent. Part of me worried that telling her would destroy a friendship that had lasted since childhood. Another part knew that secrets have a way of growing heavier every day they remain hidden. I gently told her everything. There was a long silence. She thanked me for being honest before quietly ending the call because she needed time to think. The following week felt endless. Hannah barely replied to messages except to say she needed space. I understood. She wasn't questioning whether I had done anything wrong. She was trying to understand how someone she loved like a sister could betray her trust so completely. When she finally returned home, we met at our favorite lakeside park. She looked exhausted. There were dark circles beneath her eyes, and she admitted she had cried during most of the flight back. Chloe had confessed everything after realizing I had told the truth. She apologized repeatedly, claiming loneliness and jealousy had clouded her judgment. Hannah believed the apology was sincere but knew forgiveness didn't automatically repair broken trust. Watching Hannah struggle hurt more than anything that had happened in Chloe's driveway. She wasn't only grieving a damaged friendship. She was grieving years of shared birthdays, vacations, late-night conversations, and countless memories that suddenly felt different. Over the next several months, life slowly settled into a new rhythm. Hannah focused on healing instead of anger. She started attending counseling to process the betrayal. I supported her however I could, whether that meant cooking dinner after long workdays or simply sitting quietly beside her when words weren't enough. One rainy afternoon, something unexpected happened. Hannah received a handwritten letter from Chloe. It wasn't another excuse. It wasn't another request for forgiveness. It was simply an honest admission of failure. Chloe explained that after years of comparing herself to everyone else, she had started believing happiness could only come from taking what belonged to someone else. She had lost friendships before for similar reasons but had never accepted responsibility until now. She wasn't asking Hannah to let her back into her life. She only wanted her former friend to know she had started therapy and was trying to become someone she could finally respect. Hannah folded the letter quietly. She didn't smile. She didn't cry. She simply whispered that maybe real change begins the moment people stop lying to themselves. That sentence stayed with me. Months later, we unexpectedly saw Chloe volunteering at a community food bank. She wasn't there for attention. Most people didn't even know her name. She quietly packed groceries, carried heavy boxes, and spent hours helping elderly families load their cars.